Hello, this one is commas around adjective clauses. This is another one that students tend to think they're going to have difficulty with because adjective clause for some people is hard to understand. But actually, let's just go through it and see how you're doing. And if you still have trouble, we can work on it more. But I think actually this book does a good job of giving examples, and then students with all the exercises understand. It's a little more complicated than other things because you have to think about the meaning of a sentence, okay? So let's take a look. So an adjective clause, it's a group of words that begins with these specific words. Who, which, or that, okay? That is nice because you never put commas with that. Who and which are another story. Who and which might need commas or sometimes they don't need commas, okay? Let me do that again. Begins with those words and it has a subject and a verb and describes a noun right before it in a sentence. Okay. Let me read that again. An adjective clause is a group of words that begins with who, which, or that, has a subject and a verb, and describes a noun right before it in a sentence. Okay, so that I wanted to read all of that because it has two things. First has who, which, or that. And second has a subject and a verb. And the third describes a noun before it, the noun that came before it. So for example, Lily, who is my cousin, the noun that came before it. Okay, if an adjective clause can be taken out of a sentence without completely changing the meaning, we put commas around it. That's called a non-essential, right? So when it's non-essential to the meaning of the sentence, you put commas around it. Because take a look. Lily, who will take her nursing exam this summer, Lily will take her nursing exam this summer. That makes sense. We understand the sentence. This is just extra information. It starts with who, right? And the difference between a positive is that we don't have who, which, or that in a positives, okay? So let's take a look at Beans. Beans charges outrageous prices. Oh, that seems to make sense. Beans, which is the local coffee shop charges outrageous prices. We see that that's just extra information, so we should put comments around. Sorry. All right, so the next one is, I complained to Mr. Kranz, who is the shop's manager. In this case, this is extra information about this person. Really, the important part of the sentence is that they're complaining about the outrageous prices, right? So this other, who is the shop's manager, is extra information. But the other type of adjective clause is called essential adjective clause, or sorry, it's called restrictive or non-restrictive specifically. But I like to think of it as essential or non-essential because people seem to understand that better. Like if you it's essential to the meaning of the sentence, no commas. If it's not essential, you don't really need it, put commas. So I like the essential and the non-essential explanation. So let's take a look. These ones, you need them. The grocery store that sold good bread went out of business. The grocery store that went out of business, that's not good enough because we're talking about a specific grocery store. You'll also always know that that doesn't take commas. The students often improve their hiring potential. Let's see, you could even say if you just skip it, it doesn't make sense. So it's necessary to the meaning of the sentence. Students who do internships often improve their hiring potential. So it's not just any grocery store, it's not just any students, it's these specific students with the specific information about them, or the specific grocery store with the specific information about them. Sales clerks are breaking the law. Yeah, see, that's pretty obvious because not all sales clerks are breaking the law. It's sales clerks who sell liquor to minors are breaking the law. So here's how to do it. If it's essential, no commas. If it's non-essential or not essential, commas. That's how we do it. Noun, essential, rest of sentence. Noun, non-essential or not essential, rest of sentence. How do we do it? I love these checklists, right? So first, look for your adjective clauses. Look for a who or a which or a that and underline it. Okay, so underline any adjective clause. Remember, some people say, well, how do we know when it ends? It's typically when another part of speech happens, like verb or noun. In this case, you can see octuplets received, right? Um, because we're received is not describing it's a verb, right? So this is the noun, or sorry, not the noun, but the adjective clause is describing a noun. Okay. Read the sentence without the clause. The woman received much publicity. Oh, that doesn't make sense because it's the specific woman who received much publicity, the octomom, right? Okay, so we do not need to put commas in because this is essential to the meaning of the sentence. So you will do practice 5. Let's go to it. Go to the top. Okay. So the instructions are edit the following sentences by putting commas around the adjective clauses where they are needed. And again, I'm reminding you, if the adjective clause is essential, no commas. If the sentence is already correct, please put a C next to it. Okay. And I've done this before to show you guys, like, I've written on every answer here after you've done it. Please write a C, rewrite it or write a C. Please rewrite it. Don't just write the part of the sentence or don't just write the adjective clause. Please write the whole thing if it's a rewrite. If it's not a rewrite, just put C. And also, again, I like it when it's in bold because I can see your answer more clearly when I grade your paper. Okay, so, or just enter, yeah, grade this, sorry, not paper, practice. Okay, so here's our example sentence and here's our example answer. Maintaining a healthy weight, which is a wise decision, is becoming more important to teens. So well, I'm sorry. I didn't require you to underline it this time. You can if you want to. I didn't require it, did I? No. But let's go ahead and take a look and just for an example. You underline the adjective clause. We found it because it's which is a wise sorry. All the way here. Which is a wise decision. So how do we know it ends? Because there's a verb usually after it, right? So maintaining a healthy weight is becoming more important to teens. Now that sentence makes sense. Which is a wise decision is just extra information, extra commentary. So we put commas around it. Okay. All right. So you have 10 to do. Thank you. Take your time. Find those adjective clauses and ask yourself, take it out when you read it without it, and see, does that make sense? Does it change the meaning? It makes sense, but does it change the meaning of the original sentence? If it changes the meaning of the original sentence without it, then you have no commas and it's a C, right? It's correct. If it doesn't, just put commas around it and you're fine. Thank you.